I was trying to do an ad for depop.com/mostlypants. That's depop.com/mostlypants. But I keep fucking it up. I can't get it right. I stutter and I mess up. So I'm gonna tell you how it is. You got pants. It's mostly pants. It's in the name. It's mostly pants. But you got vests. You got shoes. And I think there's a skirt somewhere in there. But here's the thing about this store, right? So these pants, these articles of clothing, they are one of a kind on this store. When I say they're one of a kind on this store, I mean that if you see something and you like it, you better grab it because there's only one available. There's only one available, and you need to grab it before somebody else swoops in and takes it from under you. That means if you see some shoes you like, grab them. If you see some pants you like, grab them. T-shirt, grab them. Skirt, grab them. Shoes, grab them. Go ahead and head over to the depop.com/mostlypants store and see what they have to offer. The selection changes often. How do I know this? Because I know the person who's operating it. They're out there looking for these articles of clothing, these hard to find pieces that you don't find anywhere else, nowhere else. They're doing the legwork for you so that you can go on here to depop.com/mostlypants. So if you're interested in getting some sweet ass clothing, head over there. I'll put the link down in the description below. You can also find them on Instagram at mostlypants, and in the Depop store, then that's just mostly pants. I just said it. How many times do I gotta say it? I'll say it another time. I'll say it one last time, but I'm gonna say it one last time, and you better go to it. Ready? That's Depop DEPOP.com/mostly pants. MOSTLYPANTS. That's it. That's the ad. Enjoy the podcast.
I'm like, nah, just fuck with me.
You do that that old man in the seat asleep with the TV on, the white light.
Yeah, I was watching that.
I was watching that. Don't touch that dial. All right, folks, welcome back to another episode of You, Me, and Dice. I'm Eddie.
And I'm Tommy.
Last week, after the Monday that we recorded, I sliced the tip of my thumb.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And I told everybody. I was going around. I was like, "Yeah, look, I cut the tip of my thumb." It wasn't a big chunk.
What is that called, usually?
Slicing off a... It's a name for it?
Yeah.
Self-mutilation?
No, the doctors do it.
Oh! I circumcised my thumb.
There you go.
I didn't cut that much off. Just a tip. Just a very tip,
Isn't that what they do?
Yeah, that's true. Just a little very tip. And then they keep it, I think. The doctors keep it and they
eat it.
Like chewing gum.
Yeah.
For when they gotta do surgery.
Yeah.
They chew.
It's their de-stressor.
Oh, it's fucking gross.
What do you mean? It's not fact. Google it. I swear to God, it's 100% true.
So yeah, I sliced my thumb. I was making my lunch in the morning.
What was it?
My usual tuna salad.
Tuna salad.
But the romaine lettuce, the big leaf.
By the way, he's taking this recipe to the grave. Just
no, I shared it.
what? Huh?
I shared like episode 1.
Damn it!
It was like 2 episodes ago, man. No, I was cutting the romaine lettuce and the leaf fell over my thumb, so I didn't see it.
Yeah.
That, and I had woken up late, so I was sleepy. And then I also
Do you are you tardy usually to work?
I tell my boss, I was like, I'm gonna be coming in between 8 and 8:30 because I could leave at 7, get there at 7:40. I could leave at 7 and get there at 8:05. I could leave there at 7:15, get there at like 7:50 or 8:10. There's just, I mean, you never know.
Yeah, like, so, and are they so they're like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I do my work.
Yeah.
I take care of my work. But that morning I was still a little extra late. But I cut my thumb and I was chopping this. I chopped everything and I had just finished chopping up the romaine lettuce was the last one, and I started bleeding and I was cleaning over the sink, bleeding and all that. And
Mhm.
I was like, where'd the little piece go? Because I cut not just fleshy bit, but some nail too. I'm like, where'd it go?
Mhm.
I couldn't find it. It wasn't on the knife.
You know where it is.
Yeah, it's in my belly,
Yeah.
or in the sewer system.
Yeah. You've
But
self cannibalized.
yeah, well, I didn't know where. I couldn't find it, so I was like, I'm just gonna put it. And the entire day before getting to lunch, I'm like, am I gonna like start chewing, and then taste or like hit a crunch and it's like my nail,
Mm-hmm.
or do something weird?
Yeah. Texture.
But nothing,
Nothing.
nothing. Just onion and celery and foreskin.
A little bit of foreskin.
But yeah, but it's
So have you
pretty
had
good.
any symptoms yet of zombification or
Zombification.
Wendigo?
I mean,
this-
I was really hungry today.
Oh,
Like really hungry.
yeah, I've noticed. You dig down those fucking tenders.
I did, man. This morning I had a coffee at home,
Mm-hmm.
decaf. I do like caffeine, like around 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
because around 3 p.m. I start getting a little tired.
Yeah.
That's my
There,
stomach.
there it
It
goes.
just rumbled.
There it goes.
That danger. That's that spicy Popeye's danger.
Yeah.
Uh,
You're not the only one though. I also get the.
Good thing I have two restrooms.
I get the Popeyes. The Popeyes.
The Popeyes double
laxative. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Popeyes laxative extra
I mean,
spice.
it cleans you up.
It does.
I mean, it cleans you up.
It really does.
It's really, I don't have to worry about gaining weight with the Popeyes because it goes right through me.
Mm-hmm.
So good. But man, I was really hungry this morning. No fucking clue why. I had the coffee, then I had like 2 gluten-free cookies that somebody brought. Then I had
Like someone brought them to your house, or someone like.
someone brought them to work.
Oh, okay.
Then I had another coffee,
Mm-hmm.
decaf, because then I'd fucking lose my brain.
Yeah.
And then I had taken some carrots, some baby carrots for a snack for like in the afternoon. I fucking ate them and I finished them and I was still hungry.
Mm-hmm.
But I had an early lunch because I was just so. Uh, but I think I don't know what it was. But I'm doing good now.
Mm.
I'm doing good now.
I remember I was fasting for a couple months ago, and that's what I would have is like coffee, black coffee.
Yes, I think
Black,
it's an
black,
appetite suppressant. Yeah. I mean,
black
you don't want the
coffee.
sugars if
No.
you're fasting. You don't want no sugars. in your
Exactly.
coffee.
So it's just black coffee, water, and like was sugar-free bubblegum.
Was
Or
it like
any sort of like cravings, I would just chew bubble.
was it like a 24-hour kind of fast, or is it like
We'll call it a 24-hour fast. I think it was like more like 8-10 days.
8-10 days? What was this for? Like you just want to see if you could do it, or
Well, I did it before the year before.
okay,
And it
before
just
Chinese New Year's, you got to get ready for it.
I think I did it like I usually do it March or February or March around that time, and it feels good actually. Like I didn't really get any hunger pangs after. I think the hunger pangs stop like after the third day, and then you're just like your
You're-
body is like in autopilot where it's just like, yeah, you see all this? We're getting rid of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and yeah,
Well, the hunger pains stop because your body starts eating itself.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it was like I think it was like 2 to 3 pounds a day. Where it
Damn.
was just like gah, 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 gah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
'cause I
know-
think I was like probably 312, and I went down to like 282.
Have you weighed yourself now?
Mm-mm.
I have a scale in my bathroom.
Mm,
If you ever want to find out.
just do it. Just
Yeah.
do it again. 10
Just do it
days.
again. Yeah, just 10 days. Well, I've been doing intermittent fasting.
Mm.
I mean, not this morning because I fucking starving. I've been doing intermittent fasting more for health.
Mm.
For health. Well, last month, December 2022, I was like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go see if I have any signs of diabetes.
Mm.
Diabetes. Because in my family,
It's prevalent.
yeah, my grandmother had it. My mom has it. I have some aunts who have it. I think I have some uncles who have it.
Yeah.
Not like everybody, but like one of each.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Enough people for me to be like, I need to get checked, right?
Yeah.
Not so much on my dad's side.
There's some bad blood somewhere around there. I
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
make sure it's good.
Fucking salt.
Mm.
Um, and so I I have insurance now. Really good insurance through my company.
That's good.
Yeah. So I
That's
went,
really good.
found a doctor. I found a family doctor. I'm like, I'm probably gonna start a family someday. So let me go to a family doctor, get one now.
What do they call those? Like a practice?
I think like, yeah, it's like a private practice
Yeah.
family doctor.
Hmm.
There's like two doctors there, and they have like some nurses, and they got some stuff. And
But so they don't have like high end stuff. Like they would be like, oh, if you need to get this specific thing, we gotta send you to the hospital.
I mean, if it's like you need like an MRI or some shit
CAT
like that,
scan. Anything
yeah,
that.
like they can do blood work in the building.
Okay.
You're like, we got a phlebotomist, on the first floor.
Mm.
We got a phlebotomist at the bottom. Anyways, we just so I went, and I went because I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to find out if I had diabetes
Mm-hmm.
or signs of like pre-diabetes, right?
Yeah.
So I went, and the first thing they did is they took my weight,
Okay.
which I had not weighed myself since I had returned from Japan,
Mm-hmm.
and in Japan I was 220. I got back in April of 2020,
Mm-hmm.
2022. I weighed myself, or they weighed me, and they're like, all right, 248. And verbally, I was like, damn. Just, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
In my mind, I was like, maybe I gained like 10 pounds
Like
and all this shit, but I know I've gained a lot of weight
they have that mirror in front of the fucking weigh station. You look at yourself, you're like, me das asco.
That's asco. But I know when I start getting fatter when I go to put my shoes on and my gut gets in the way.
Mm.
I was like, okay, I need to.
Or whenever you bend up, you
Yeah,
gotta do that. Yeah.
And so I had a few moments like that, and then I started like just ignoring them.
Mm-hmm.
So I went. They did some checkups, some other stuff. They took some blood work, and they're like, all right, we'll do this. You're like almost a perfect specimen, but we'll still do it.
Yeah. Yeah,
And,
come on, Adonis.
I mean, I don't know what people expect, right?
Yeah.
You don't get a body like this by just doing nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, you do, but so I got my blood work done.
Do you feel like you were at a lower weight because of the food in Japan is like of sounder quality?
No.
No,
No,
just
I did
eating
not
less?
eat. I cooked at home, and I went all out.
Oh boy.
But I was exercising a lot.
That was
had-
like 12 eggs.
12 eggs,
4 cups of
fucking
rice.
bacon. Well, the bacon is whack. So like sausage, it's just
Yeah.
It was really more. I had a lot more free time on my hands,
Mm-hmm.
and I was working out a lot more, like it showed.
Then you have to bike too.
I had a bike, but I didn't bike it. I walked. I walked a lot. I walked a lot because I didn't have a car, so I took trains and I walked around the cities and the town, and then I exercised a lot. So I had lost weight. I got down to 216,
Mm-hmm.
and then I started like trying to pack on some muscle, and I did,
Yeah.
and I looked good in the t-shirt. I was like, damn. Then I just went fucking downhill when I got back.
Do you feel like you looked good like to American standards or like even in because like Japanese like
I didn't.
like the Japanese are like known for like being not
I was the fat fuck to the Japanese.
yeah exactly. Oh, we don't have your size.
They did not. I went to a big and large store,
Oh no.
a big and tall, or whatever it's
Uh-huh.
called, like an equivalent, like from America.
Yeah.
Like I had to go to like a special store to get like clothes that fit me.
Oh.
So I was big no matter what.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about standards. I think like here in the U.S., if you would have seen me, you would have been like, "Damn, man, you put on some muscle."
Okay.
Damn. I would have been like, "Yo, what's up?" And I would have flexed a little bit, but
Yeah.
not so much now. I'm trying to get back into it. The whole thing, with the doctor. So they take my blood. I hear back from them a few days, and I'm going through the results. They have an online portal,
Yeah.
and I go through the results, and I'm like, "Oh hell yeah!" I'm like, I'm in perfect for everything. I'm not pre-diabetic. I got like perfect cholesterol and like great. and then it's like three things were off,
Mm-hmm.
and they all had to do with the liver. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, it's odd. So I looked it up. My dumbass did
WebDM.
WebDM, Doctor Google,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, oh, it's a fatty liver,
Yeah.
and I was okay. They're like, or it could be cirrhosis, which leads to liver cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, well, that's it. I'm gonna die.
Well, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, yeah. I believe I had like a 50-50, right? I was
Yeah.
like, I'm probably gonna die because I have liver cancer, or I just have fatty liver and I'm good.
Yeah.
Right. And my mind, I'm still, we were talking about this earlier. Where I was earlier off the podcast when we were getting food.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like unlearn some toxic behavior that I learned.
Mm-hmm.
On like toxic behavior for like the way I think and things like that. I'm trying to, unlearn them and untrain myself. So one of the things that I did wrong was I started thinking very negatively about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna be fine. And then I talked to the doctor, and she was like, okay, what you need to do is, we think it's fatty liver. There's a long pause before she continued. I was like, fuck, it's probably something else too. And she's like, you're gonna go get an ultrasound done. I'm gonna take an ultrasound of your liver, see how it looks. I go, okay. And they're like, yeah, it's gonna be. I got a place not too far from the main office, from the main doctor. But they're like, yeah, it's gonna be 2 weeks before you can do it. I was like, fuck. No, that's all I'm gonna think about. So that's all I thought about for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
All I thought about. I go the day before Christmas Eve to go do the
The MRI.
the ultrasound.
Ultrasound.
Ultrasound, yeah. They did an ultrasound. They like a little put jelly on me.
Yeah.
Oh no, they didn't. They just put jelly on the thing, and So I went and.
You're like, oh, you're expecting?
You're expecting? Yeah, I'm tumor.
Oh, fuck.
And so,
I mean, isn't that what they are?
yeah. Oh shit! Oh shit! Okay. And so she's doing the ultrasound, and the lady, she's like measuring something. I'm seeing her because she's measuring something circular and getting all this shit, and I'm like,
What is this?
that's a fucking tumor, man.
Uh-huh.
Like what else is she measuring?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, fuck. And then that night, I'm laying in bed, and I'm like, yeah, that's it. I got like maybe 3-5 years left. Like, what am I gonna do with my life?
Mm-hmm.
First, I'm not gonna try to get into any relationship because they're just gonna be disappointed. And I mean, I gotta get my affairs in order. Maybe get a living will. Decide what I'm gonna do with the house.
Mm-hmm.
I just got this house. I'm fucking spiraling.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going deep into this spiral, and I don't sleep that night. And then I wake up the next morning. I'm fucking tired, and I'm just thinking, I'm like, dude, I'm fucking dead.
Yeah.
I'll be dead in like, in my mind, I'm thinking I'll be dead in 3-4 years, and that's it. And all I could think about was just not. I wasn't thinking so much about like my regrets,
Mm-hmm.
but more about like, damn, I think like there's people who care about me, and they're gonna be affected like the most. That would bother me the most. And then I and then around noon,
Mm-hmm.
remember around noon I get an email. They're like, boop, email from the doctor. I'm like, okay, let me look at it. And I look at it, and it says you just have fatty liver, like early fatty liver stages. But like what you need to do is you need to lose weight and get on a low fat diet.
Mm-hmm.
And then I talked to the doctor again, and they're like, yeah, just you do a checkup in another in another month, but lose weight, do low fat diet, and you can reverse it because it's very early stages. Now you can reverse it, and like I'm like, fuck.
So what are late stages of fatty liver? Like what?
But I mean, I think late stage you go into like the cirrhosis
Okay.
kind of field. By then, I think it's like either irreversible or you got to be very careful what you eat.
Mm.
And if you continue to not take care of yourself, that's when it's cirrhosis and then liver cancer,
Mm.
because your liver starts to fail basically.
Yeah.
And so I spent this was I got the news on Christmas Eve that I just had fatty liver. So that day I celebrated by eating not healthy,
Okay.
right? Because it's Christmas Eve or whatever.
Yeah.
But then after that, it was like, okay, what's the game plan? I saw how I reacted when I wholeheartedly believe that, you know, my time is coming, my time is up, right? I started putting things into a different perspective, and I started kind of changing my point of view on a lot of things, uh, and the whole diet thing is like, okay, I do this or I don't and I die. Is how I look at it. So I've lost 10 pounds so far.
Yeah.
So I'm like at 238 now.
That's good.
I'm trying to do 2 pounds 2 pounds a week.
Mm-hmm.
So by end of May, hopefully I'm at 200.
Yeah.
But there's just it was a lot of emotion and a lot of thinking about life, right? I say, okay, what is it? And for the longest, I was like, I don't want to have kids. I don't. That's the thing that just always, I don't want to have kids. I don't want to have kids. And then I got this, and I'm like, maybe kids aren't too bad, you know. I mean, I gotta find someone to have kids with, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I guess kids don't seem like a bad idea. And then I was thinking about just, I mean, even this, like the podcast, for example. Like I was like, fuck, like we talked about it for so long, and we weren't, and it felt like we weren't taking any steps towards it. So I was like, we need to like do it. And if you remember, I think it was like around like late December when I texted you, I'm like, hey, I want to do this podcast. But we went out to eat.
Yep.
We went out to eat, I think. And I was like, I want to do this podcast. I want to like set it up. We don't have much right now, like with the little setup, just my PC and a mic.
All you lovely listeners.
All you lovely listeners listening to this beautiful story of love and redemption. And so I this is one of the things. I have other things that I'm doing, that I'm trying to do, and yeah, it's a new perspective. I have a better appreciation for moments. I'm trying not to allow myself to get frustrated as easily with things. I'm trying not to anger quickly. I mean, I don't anger quickly. I have really good patience, but there are some things that would bother me that I'm like, that really shouldn't bother me. And I'm more careful about my decisions on who to put my trust on, who to open myself to, in terms of emotionally.
Yeah.
Right. Because I had like a situation some months ago where I opened myself up to the wrong individual, and they were just using me for the attention.
Yeah.
And that really fucked me up, especially because I was at a place where, like, okay, I just got back from Japan, and I was living with my brother-in-law and my sister, and I was living with people, and then I moved out, and I was alone again, and then I was just in a very deep depressive state. And what better time to take advantage of somebody than when they're in a deep depressive state?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's like, we're all only humans. It's like we have a lot of faults, I feel. Being being like the person and ourselves, right?
Yeah, well, I set I set really high standards for myself, and I really shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, like unachievable standards,
Mm.
but I really shouldn't.
Yeah.
But I think that and then I ended up having some panic attacks, like
Yeah.
back to back. Like I had it one day, had it the next day, and it was just a lot of stress on like the house, the job, that relationship, having left living with my family to living alone. It was a lot.
I don't feel like I have panic attacks, but I have my main three things that I get are like sleepless nights, hives. I get a lot of hives whenever I start to stress
Yeah.
hives, like all over my legs and all over my arms. And then I have like like a a, a tick. Sometimes I get a tick. But that's like I think the tick is like when it's like high stress, like super high stress, I get ticks.
Yeah.
Um yeah. And I've noticed that whenever I'm put in like super stressful situations, um I typically like I get unsettled and my
Mm.
I want to vomit. Like
Mm.
that's how like that's to the point where I get like anxiety.
Yeah.
Where it's like I upchuck. Like I would upchuck in the morning sometimes, like because of like sometimes I would have like just high anxiety. Because some of the situations I was in. But I mean I've it's little by little I'm feeling like it's getting to the point where it's more like um I'm just like letting things like play out and letting things as in um like you say, you had all this stress about, like dying, right? Or thinking about that.
Yeah.
But I've always like I've always been more lax in that situation. Like um typically like sometimes I would even say like, man, I think I'm giving myself like 36, 37 around that age. I think that's when it's gonna come for me at least, right?
Yeah.
And so I've never had like a problem with like leaving, right? Um Even with like thinking about like the situations and the people I'm leaving, I'm like, well, sometimes it gets to the point where you're like, I mean, I don't feel like I would affect the people around me in a positive way, right? By like, or like they would like most of them would think, oh well, okay, well, he's gone. Then then the opposite of like, oh, I really had this person and I treasured these moments with him. But it's also I think of it like more like that, even with like on a family level, you know, with like all my siblings and all that, and I'm like, we don't even have a connection, So I'm just like, I don't see it. I don't see it as in a point where it would be like if I'm gone, there would be like, he was my brother or he was my son and all this, but they would think about it. But you think about all the other people that have passed, right? Um, how long has it been since we visited like grandmother's grave? 20 years, 30 years, right? Like 10 years. It's the same situation. I feel like for the first year or 2 years, they would probably like mourn to that effect, but then you just slip after a while.
I
So
wouldn't visit your grave,
exactly. Right.
but that's I would because I feel like the grave is just I get the idea behind it, but
Mhm.
I think that once you're gone, like once you're dead,
Yeah,
like the body's just the body now,
yeah.
right? So it's like
I'll put Wi-Fi online.
you put
Just
Wi-Fi, so
yeah, just so people can come.
so you wake up. Yeah, I think for me it's just I, I, I never like I said I understand why they have the grave because maybe it's like a physical place to go, but I think for me it's more like as long as like they think about
Mm,
me, right? Because the grave, I mean, I'm not there,
yeah,
right? Once you're dead, you're not there. It's just it's your body, but that's not you anymore. So I think the thing is think about that person, right? Because I know for me, and speaking for myself, because
hmm,
we've been best friends for like 11 years,
yeah. About
I would be fucking devastated.
yeah. Well, yeah. And I
Yeah,
again, I can see the moment, the reaction, right? I can like you
yeah.
can envision those things, like how people would
I'd
react,
probably get a
right?
tummy tattoo.
Oh no.
I would.
Wait, how would it talk? Like, I'm thinking like photorealistic, but then no, I'm just thinking of a fucking like the bear logo
The bear
with,
logo.
with
I
like
was thinking of like those like early 2000s fucking photo shoots where like you'd be like laying down on your stomach
No,
with
no.
like your hand on your chin
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like your
yeah.
feet up like
The
crossed.
Target or the fucking what are those?
The mall photos,
Yeah, the
yeah.
mall photos.
Those mall portraits.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, yeah, I think like you said, you would think about the moments, right? Like we're
I think that's one of the most important things.
what are some of the moments that we've shared that like were really nice? I think you remember when we first made our sticks together at the old apartment.
Yeah, yeah,
That was a
yeah,
really good time.
yeah. I think it was the my first apartment. My
Mm-hmm. Your
first
first one.
apartment.
Yeah.
You came over. We were grilled. It was
Steak,
steak, potatoes.
potatoes,
I think some mac.
some mac, and
We
like
had some, and
crab cakes,
yeah, and I had like a shitty like table too.
shrimp.
You remember it
Yeah,
was like a
yeah.
poker table.
The wasn't it
It was like a
the
black
black one?
with a soft top
Yeah, the
that
stuff. Yeah.
nothing was like stable on there.
No, yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
fuck, it's been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've had a lot of great moments.
Yeah.
I think, but I think that's one of like the most uh, for that. I mean, I can't. I haven't had to experience the death of a loved one in a long time.
Mm.
I had a cousin who was killed. I had my grandmother who passed away. My grandfather on my dad's side passed away, but no one like really close to me.
Yeah, I think the closest like to me was probably like hmm, probably my grandmother. And it was strange. It wasn't it was like more of a surreal moment, right? But then again, you think about it and you're like, hmm, I didn't know like how much did I know this person, right? Got her grandma and these things, but like there's just some things that I really didn't even know about her. But I think the only thing that I did remember about her and sort of that, oh yeah, I did have grandma. The only
Yeah,
thing that I remember or two things is like the recipe to her stuffing that now my mother has taken and now that I use, and I'm the only other sibling. Like none of my other siblings know how to make it. I'm the only one that knows how to make that stuffing,
right.
just like my mom and just like my grandma. And the other thing, is that whole, they would put you on their lap and bounce you. I remember that once or twice, right? But other than that, it's very vague, right? I think one of the deaths that like would probably like affect me if when it comes, right, is probably like my father. I mean, he's not like a super healthy man,
Yeah,
and so I'm just like, you're circling the drain. I like, I look at him and I don't know if he notices, right? He must, right? But I look at him and I'm like, you've aged terribly, father.
mm, mm,
And yeah, it looks like you're circling the drain here, like.
yeah,
But so that's why like whenever I tried, like I was when I was younger, I would like not really even like talk to him, or sometimes I wouldn't even answer his calls. But now, like my whole perspective to him has changed. Where like I answer his calls, he checks up on me, I check up on him. If I have time, I'll go to see him, and you forgive these people, and you're like, that's why I always think like, well, humans are only human, right? Like
yeah,
he had a lot of faults, but I also have a lot of faults. Everyone has a lot of faults, right? But we shouldn't dwell on their faults. We should just remember them, or like try to take them for who they are. So that's why I still like have a pretty decent relationship with my father, right? But I know that I feel like that death would probably affect me. But it like I've always struggled with having like not a lot of communication or sort of like empathy with even family members, right? I don't know how you seem like you keep off like you talk to your sister often, right? Or that's your closest, familial sort of thing, right?
yeah. We had I think she and I are the closest ones in age,
And
two
then your
years.
brother too, right?
Well,
Your younger brother.
my younger brother, my older brother too,
Mm-hmm.
but uh, I think a lot of it is because of the way we grew up was mom working one or two jobs at a time,
Mm-hmm.
so we had to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of that. So that came from a lot, and then I guess it helps that like My oldest brother, he's very like big on family.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all of my family is, right?
Yeah.
But my older brother, like, really big on family. He's like
Mm.
a tough son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But when it comes to family, it's like it's a fucking baby, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, just I think any of them, any of their deaths would affect me just
Mm.
a lot. My sister would affect me a whole lot. But I think I think about it a lot.
Yeah.
Death,
Yeah.
right? And it's like fuck. Like a day will come and I won't be ready.
Mm.
So I try and just cherish the moments,
Yeah.
enjoy every moments that I get with them.
Well, like I was going to, where like you seem very familiar, right?
Yeah,
But in my terms, everyone's sort of straight off, right? Like my two older sisters, they have their own family. They, you know, we talk during Christmas holidays. We
yeah,
talk for holidays. Or they would sometimes come to the house, but like, or even like my brother or even my sister, my twin sister, I see, like it's very often that I see them more as like roommates than I do like even like a familial tie, right? Um, so I always thought that was interesting in my sense where they're like I get that sense that like they would tell me I would have people tell me like you don't have a lot of empathy. I'm like I've noticed that as well, but
I think
you
it's just
know
for certain people maybe
yeah
because I do think I don't know in terms of like levels of empathy, but at least understanding empathy is there. Like the understandings of being able to understand it
mm,
is there for sure.
yeah
Yeah, I know. I think I don't know how my dad's death would affect me.
mm,
I'm not very close with him.
yeah
He doesn't call me. He doesn't check up on me. He doesn't remember my birthdays. Um, but I don't call him either. I do say happy birthday to him,
yeah
but I don't really call him. I mean, I completely forgot to call him over the holidays. Like it just, I wasn't thinking about it. I was thinking about myself.
you're thinking about
Oh yeah, I was
other
thinking
things
100% about myself.
hmm
He doesn't know about this whole fatty liver thing. I never told him. He's always there. He's willing to help out,
yeah
And I think a lot of it is him wanting to atone
things certain
for
things
things that he did when he was a younger father. And like you said, it's like I think for me the realization of like, oh, I forgive you for kind of the shit that you did.
mm,
That really that came later on in my adult years when I reached the age he was or older, and I was like, oh, no wonder he was like this because who fucking could handle this kind of shit,
yeah
right? At such a young age, 20, 21 years old, trying to raise three kids. And like now I think about it, because one of my earliest memories is him leaving us,
mm,
right? That's one of the things I remember. Like, I remember crying, looking at him through the fucking car window as he left us, right? And so, for the majority of my youth, right, I was like, I hate him. Like, how dare you? I didn't understand. I got older and I was like, I get it.
I get it.
I get it. I
Listen,
get
you get
it.
listen, boss. I
Listen,
get you. Understandable.
I get it. But I haven't had a chance to have a conversation about that with him.
Mm,
I mean, I don't think because we don't have that kind of relationship.
yeah.
So it's really difficult. I don't like sometimes it's like not pity, but like I think he tries to be a father, and when he doesn't get the chance or he sees that like, oh, we don't need him, my sister and I, we don't need him. Oh,
hmm
it's then it becomes like then you see it like, oh, like the shame that he has
Mm,
where he's like, fuck, like I didn't, like I saw it at my sister's wedding. I saw it at her baby shower where there was just like where he was just like he's like, I didn't get to do anything. Like I didn't get to help my daughter for anything on this, right? And that's because that's because my sister, she's doing really well for herself. Her husband does really well. They do really well. They're
Yeah.
doing really well,
Oh
right?
yeah.
You've been to the house.
Yeah. Like
And so
I was looking for I was looking for some adoption papers, but then I forgot.
it's
I was
like,
too old.
up to it, yeah. Uh, so it was like they didn't need the help, right? And
Hmm.
I think my dad, he saw that, and he like shrunk a little bit,
Yeah.
which is like a strange thing to see. Like your father, who for me it's like at some points I was afraid of him, see him kind of so small,
Hmm.
and I was like, that's so fucking weird. It made me uncomfortable. Um, but I think like, and I think when I first got the house, I was hoping he would congratulate me, but he didn't.
No.
No,
Hmm.
and I was like, all right. Um,
So he knows you have.
he knows I have a house. Yeah,
Yeah.
he knows I have a house. Um, which was a huge fucking deal for a lot of people. I mean, for me especially.
Yeah.
I grew up in trailer parks and apartments and moving around. So to establish myself somewhere,
Hmm.
it's been like a big
You
fucking.
have your own swamp now.
It's my swamp. Get
Yeah.
out of my swamp, donkey. That's my dog.
Mm.
uh, I think a lot of things take time. Well, not think. I know. In order to understand some people, it takes time.
Yeah.
In order to recover from anything, it takes time. Like any physical injury.
Hmm.
Um, I know for me, this is going back a little bit on to like the whole like anxiety and depression, but like for the longest, I was just like, I don't know why. I don't know why I have it. I don't know why I get it. And I started delving into the deep, dark corners of my mind and finding things that I wasn't too happy about, but that I felt necessary to find. And so I, after those two, because I had those two panic attacks.
Okay.
One I had it one day, had it the next day, and then I decided, oh, I'm gonna go see a. Uh, and then I decided that I was like, oh, I guess I'll see a therapist,
Yeah.
right? So I spoke to a therapist, and it was online, and she helped a little bit. She helped some, and she helped kind of clarify things. It's one thing when it's like you're talking to someone you don't know,
Hmm.
and they're giving you their honest opinion.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, it makes sense. Or sometimes it's like you're thinking about something, but you're like, does this even make sense? And then you're talking to somebody who doesn't know you and who's gonna give you their professional honest opinion. You're like, okay, so I wasn't crazy in thinking that, right?
Mm.
But I only had I think 3 sessions with her, and then she wanted me to do a session on 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning, and I said no, thank you. But I started taking antidepressants,
Okay.
and I'm really open about it too.
Yeah.
Like I'll tell anybody who asks me, I'll tell them. Um, but I know growing up there's like a stigma about it.
Are you still taking them?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a very small dose, very small.
Okay.
But it
'Cause
keeps
I'm.
me afloat.
Oh,
Really.
gotcha.
It keeps me afloat, and it allows me to like feel the emotions. Okay, an example. What we talked about earlier, where I was talking to this girl
Hmm.
and we were texting, and she brought up her boyfriend, and I like this person. I like him.
Hmm.
I like their personality. They get my jokes on and stuff. And then she mentioned her boyfriend, and then in my mind, it's like you're you don't have a chance with this person,
Yeah.
and it makes 100% sense, right? It makes sense. They're in a relationship. I do not have a chance, right?
Hmm.
So let it be friends, right? And then my fucking brain, me, goes, that's not the reason why you don't have a chance. You don't have a chance because you're broken, and people don't like broken things.
Hmm.
And then I started to like fucking spiral a little bit, and I was like, oh wow, I like I'm shit. Nobody was gonna want me, and this usual fucking thing that I would always do that would lead me into deep dark depressions and fucking for weeks
Hmm.
or months. And the medicine that I'm taking, I always explain that it's like it's like clearing up fog, right? It allows you to think a little bit more clearly.
Yeah.
So instead of like thinking deeper, I started to float back up. And I was like, wait, why the fuck am I thinking that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why did my mind immediately go there?
Yeah.
The best answer I have right now is that was my standard for many years.
Mm-hmm.
My standard was to something negative happens or that I perceive happens to me, then my default is to take the self-deprecation route.
So what? One of the things I want to tell you is like, what made you take the leap of like of medication? Because I remember, I think we talked about this. We were here and we're eating a meal, and I think you brought up that you were saying you're with your therapist and all this stuff. So I'm like, okay, well, are you gonna take medicine and all that kind of stuff? You're like, no, I'm gonna try to pull it through. Um, well, what changed your mind, or what you're like, okay, no, I think I need some.
So that's a pretty easy answer. Someone that I'm really close to
Mm-hmm.
and that I look up to
Yeah.
told me that they were taking it,
Mm.
and they're like I vouch for it, and I was like, okay, and that was enough for me.
Yeah.
This person, like, I really, care about this person, and I really do look up to them, right?
Mm.
They've helped me out through a lot, and we're very similar in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I've never had anybody that I look up to, so it's really weird for me to have somebody to look up to.
Yeah.
So them telling me, oh, I'm taking this, and it helps, this, and like if you want to try it, start at a low dose and all this. And I was like, okay, so
They all eat. I mean, from my understanding, they start you at a low dose, and then depending on how
yeah.
you adjust, they start upping your dosage.
Well, I can tell you, I think I would experience less because I still get like depressive episodes, but they're very short lived,
Mm.
right? They're very short
Like a
lived,
day.
like a day, 2 days, maybe. The longest I've had, the longest is I've been on the medication, which has been about 4 months. The longest I've had is like maybe a week. But like I said, it's like a life raft, man. It's like it allows me to think clearly and pull myself out.
Mm.
And I thought about it. I thought because I think when my 3 months, because I give for 3 months, and at the end of the 3 months, they're like, "Do you want to up the dosage?" And I was like, "I don't think I want to. I think I want to keep it low so that I can continue with these experiences,
Mm-hmm.
so that when I feel it, I can start problem solving."
Yeah.
Right? I think if I were to get a high dose, then I think I'd be okay, but it wouldn't. I don't. It wouldn't afford me. I don't know if it would afford me the opportunity to like get a depressive episode and be like, okay, what triggered it, and then I start investigating and figuring out why.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's the benefit of a low dose where I'm buoyant, but if I start to sink, I can figure out how to fix it.
Yeah.
And so and then I think, and that down the line, it prevents, that to happen again. And that's one thing that I've been working on for the past year and a half. Is just preventative maintenance on the mind.
Yeah.
Because you gotta take care of your mind. That's where fucking everything goes. So I've been doing a lot of like self help, like videos, and like there's one really good one called like um it's like a therapy for gamers or something. It's a YouTuber, and
Mm-hmm.
he has like a Twitch channel as well. I can't remember the name
The
of
only one I use for any of that is the fisherman that's like, you can do the Japanese fisherman.
it.
You fucking got this.
Gambate.
Yeah.
Well, I did a lot of. I mean,
I do a lot of it is what it is.
it is what it is. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I was able to get to where I am without any medication,
Mm.
and the one thing on my mind was, if I was able to get this far, how much further can I get with it?
Yeah.
Like I was, I was fighting fucking with, feet and hands tied behind my back,
Mm-hmm.
and I was still moving forward. So what I'm very curious about is how will I do when I'm just able to move forward. Um, I think it's still too early on to
To
tell,
gauge.
to gauge, but I definitely recommend it to people though. I think it as an option for
Mm.
sure. Both that and therapy. I wanted to continue doing the therapy, but it's just they kept on kind of pushing my time around, and I couldn't. There wasn't no consistent time, and at the time that started, I didn't have insurance,
Yeah.
so I was paying like out of pocket.
Oof.
Yeah, now
Oh,
now I
so,
have insurance.
oh, does it cover it?
Yeah,
Nice.
I think it does. Yeah,
Well, it hopefully.
it should. I think it does. I think it does. And so I recommend it to people
Mm.
if they want to give it a shot. There's some online resources where you can like find out like where to find a therapist. And a lot of that stuff like boomed during the pandemic,
Yeah.
right? Because people were at home and they
People
were
were
feeling,
people were saw themselves and they're like, fuck. They looked in the mirror and they saw like,
this is who I am.
this is what's happening. This is who I am, and it's
Yeah.
yeah.
So a lot of that online therapy boomed,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's far more accessible now than it was I think before in
Yeah.
the past 5 years, 6 years ago. So I recommend it to people. I recommend people do that. I recommend if you want to try out like some medication. The website I use is called Hims.
Oh, okay.
So Hims they do for I think they do like all kinds of like medicines and
ED, balding, and yeah, mental health.
mental health, and then just like products
Yeah.
like soap and shit like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So all that stuff, and they do for men and women too.
Mm.
I think they have. It's called hers.
Yeah, I would,
Of course.
no.
No, it can't be. But I definitely recommend it to people. One of the biggest things is like learning how to love yourself.
Yeah.
That's one of the hardest things I had to learn how to do. Learning how to accept yourself.
I think we're all still learning that.
Yeah, it's an everyday. Because it's an ongoing thing, right? You can't just love yourself one day and then that's it. And I'm talking about like emotionally, not like masturbating.
Well, I mean,
You can do
both.
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 Why not both?
Why not? Well,
Why
well,
not both?
I do hear some stuff about like people that tend to masturbate have more problems. I don't know if you've heard that.
Yeah, I have. I think like problems with like confidence.
Mm,
I think confidence. I think it's the porn.
yeah.
I think it's the porn and masturbating that.
Yeah, I can't do porn. Well, I did it for a little bit, and but then you look at it and you're like, fuck,
My taste in porn has changed.
it's very muted, right?
A lot of it is very much the same.
Yeah.
A lot of
very
it is like step bro, step sis,
Ugh,
stepstones.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that.
Stepdaughter.
I don't know how that boomed. I don't know.
Dude, fucking degenerates.
I don't know.
Hey, I mean, hey, whatever you like, bro. Whatever you like. And a lot of it is just like it's hard to find like something good or enjoyable.
Mm.
And I think that's why OnlyFans is doing really well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because it's like a little personal touch.
It's a little
touch, right?
personal. Yeah, it's a little personal.
Personal touch. It's like
Even some chat rooms, you're like,
chat rooms, yeah.
yeah, okay, this person is
Yeah.
a little person.
And I'm like so I'm putting this out there right now. I'm a big supporter of sex workers. I think it's a booming industry.
Like the ones that work on like BeachNet and kind of thing.
No. No, I don't I think
No, you're not talking about prostitute.
I feel like maybe prostitutes are unionized.
Oh well, I think that's called a pimp.
Legal unionization of prostitution.
Well, but
Not a
that's the
pimp.
thing. I don't think prostitution is legal.
It's not. It's not. Can you imagine if it was? Do you know how much money they would fucking make?
How would you tax them? Because they're taxing marijuana. Like
Yeah, you could
they're
tax
taxing
like
them like 35%.
you could tax like rooms,
Yeah.
right? Like a fucking when you go to the movies where you gotta pay fucking crazy amount.
It's always interesting that like some places have like in other countries have red light districts.
Yeah.
And yeah, you could just like, yep, you wanna blowy, whatever you want, man.
Yeah, whatever.
And but here is like
I think if done right, it could be really successful.
Is it very? Do you think it's because of America's conservative views on that?
I think the conservative views that it's rooted in.
Wow.
The majority of the people are the
But
loudest. Are the
you can go online, pay for some woman to shove a cucumber up her ass, and you fucking that's okay.
that's okay,
That's
yeah.
okay.
Because you're not
Fine.
there to do it physically.
Yeah.
I think so. OnlyFans, go for it. Like 100% go for it. If you can, fucking, you still gotta promote that pussy,
Yeah.
that dick. You still gotta promote it, right? The shit ain't easy. Uh, but I think if prostitution was made legal, I think
You know what I think about sometimes is like, if you or anyone
that
was,
I should start an OnlyFans.
well, no, like sex
Oh.
workers, right? Like, it would be like nice for the, like let's say for a girl, right? You can just hit up a number. Some guy comes in like a fucking plumber's uniform, said, "Yeah, I'm here to fucking fix your pipes." Like, I got tools, and what do you want to do? But it's not necessarily him putting his dick inside you, right? It's him like getting you off.
Okay. Okay.
Like with any sort of like toys or just like, anything of
Okay,
that
I see what
nature,
you mean.
right?
Like a. Okay, yeah. Like he comes in and when he opens up his tool bag, you got vibrators, you got dildos, you got anal
Yeah,
beads.
he puts on his gloves, sanitize, puts on
Yeah,
his gloves, and just like,
and that'd be
okay,
a really
like,
good
hey,
service.
what are you into? This, and this. Okay, yeah, we can do that. Let's just sign the waiver, and then you get into it, right?
There'll be background checks.
Yeah.
Uh, and it is just and it won't be like him putting his dick in, right?
Exactly. That,
So
yeah.
it'd be background checks. It'd be like certified members of like some kind of sex board, like fucking lawyers and shit. They have
Not
like
only
like
like
board.
I can see that only like if the girl like is into it, where she's like, well, it helps me get off when I suck some guy's dick. So if you can do this while I do this, or whatever. I'm like, well, and again, that's prostitution already at that point. But if it wasn't, I'm saying like if this wasn't right, if it was legal, I think that would be like a good line of service.
I think it'd be pretty good. I mean, you could have like fucking fake internet trucks, fake
Hmm.
cable, fake like plumbers or whatever, like refrigerator repair,
Yeah,
and fucking guys wearing normal looking uniforms that look like regular servicemen.
yeah, it's a
So
fucking uniform.
it's anonymous. Nobody knows what's going on. But this
Discreet.
guy's got like a fucking drill bit with the dildo attached to it, and he's like, "Let's go, baby, let's go." That's a
You
good
gotta
idea.
got a clog in those pipes. Let me just
Yeah,
think.
climb this play. Let's fix this.
Yeah,
That's a great idea, man.
yeah.
That's a don't be
Look,
fucking steal it.
I am the CEO. I'm trying to get back channels to trademark it. But I've always thought of that idea. It would be a good. I would be employee of the month.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, you'd be the one working, doing it. I thought you'd be like running it.
both
Both?
Why not?
Okay. Owner operated.
owner operated
It's a family business.
family business. I give discounts for in the family. I give discounts like, oh, mother. No,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
What about for guys?
Yeah.
You can have guys too.
See, I don't feel like we have enough sex toys.
All we have is like the fleshlight.
The fleshlight.
Have you seen those like
I've seen those commercials, or I think they're fake commercials, right? Where it's just like the pussy pump 3000.
oh yeah, the pussy.
Yeah. Fucking, it's just vibrating to all sorts of different shit. You're like, those can't be real.
That's gonna be real.
And if they are, send me the link.
Yeah. They have those like latex like booties.
Oh yeah,
It's
the,
like
the
just
whole
like
the butt.
The butt.
Yeah,
Just pussy asshole.
pussy.
Just that. They have that. But I mean, I think it's just women can there's just a lot more things that women can put in their body than men can stick their dick in,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
What else do you got? Hole? What else? Right? Women, what you got like all sorts of things. You got there's those little things you can control from Wi-Fi that like connected to like the Wi-Fi.
Like that would be. Think of the idea as like, I go with you to go get your groceries. I don't even mind like pushing the cart for you, but I'm also controlling that.
I mean, you're talking me?
No. Like
Put in my
like,
butt?
no, like fucking like the whole fucking plumber scenario, right?
Yeah.
Where I go with you,
Okay, yeah.
like, and
yeah.
you have to do your medial task.
I mean, you can go to like a grocery store that is not the normal one that you go to.
Yeah.
That people don't know what you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just follow you. Just like, yeah, I'm helping you push your cart, getting your groceries, and every once in a while I'll give you the fucking flick.
Crank up the fucking
Yeah, click of the flick of the bean and
flick of the
just-
bean. Yeah. Yeah,
That would be pretty cool.
it'd be a good service. I mean, there's a lot of innovation, employment opportunities.
What do you think of the
This is creating jobs for Americans.
what do you think about the VR sexing? Because like I don't know if you've seen those rigs where like it's a guy girl rig or guy rig, where it's like one of them has something on his dick and the other person has something shoving it in them. I think the first like sighting of it I saw was like in a Japanese thing. I was like, the
I don't.
Japanese are very fucking innovative.
They're innovative in the city.
Yeah.
Leave the fucking city and you see these motherfuckers using fax machines, and you gotta
Well,
stamp everything.
it's just, that's their way of life. They love it. They still have facts. They love facts.
I hate it so much.
It's just the noise. It's just they love the noise, the
I think I love it.
ambiance. Yeah.
I think
So do they have like 2023 fax machines? Like
no,
no,
What
like
do you? What do you?
no. I would imagine Japan, since they have fucking like they love their fax machines, that they would have like new models of fax machines.
Nah, homeboy.
Right.
But you should see the copy machines they have.
Are they good?
They're really good, but they're old.
Oh wow.
They built to last.
Wow.
The school I was at didn't get AC until 3 years before I got there. So a lot of schools don't have ACs. They just use fans. And as far as like technology, like in schools,
Hmm.
I think it's just not that good. Technology away from the city is not nothing impressive.
Yeah.
Technology in the city, that's pretty good.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta find it. You gotta find it. I think.
Well, I'm gonna segment this into since we're talking about sexual and romance and all that. What do you think about and this is like a part of like me trying to put a little bit of tabletop in this, right? But what do you think about like in table romance,
Depends
or
on the
like it doesn't even have to be between like people
players.
players that are like husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, right? But like just like as in like, hey, I tell the DM, hey, I wanna not necessarily romance this fucking barkeep that just wanna smash, but like I wanna have in like uh a love sort of component into my
For my character.
for my character, exactly, right?
Well, just as a reminder, Tommy, this is not a tabletop podcast,
Of course.
but continue.
Well, that's the thing, right? I'm trying to. What do you think about that?
uh,
Well, I feel like we missed a little bit on the dice today.
I mean, we don't gotta hit all three components.
Uh,
That's the beauty. That's the beauty of the YMD. That the components.
but we gotta give them the D.
We'll give them the D.
Oh, good.
Uh, yeah, it's a layout. It's just
What
But
what do you think about it?
I think it just depends on the player and the DM.
You think so?
Mhm.
I have a lot of or at least my Thursday game. They're always like, it's a hard pass for romance on their table, right? Like,
You have to
no.
think about what kind of people they are.
Mhm.
Like, are they emotionally available individuals?
Yeah.
Like I myself, I am emotionally raw. I'm very emotional. I love sharing feelings,
Mhm.
and I I connect with others on an emotional level. Like, if I meet a girl and she likes me and she's, I want to say, quote unquote, classically attractive, right?
Okay.
A fucking model, whatever. Uh, and she likes me, right? But I don't like her. Like, I find her very attractive, but there's no emotional connection. Then I cannot see myself with that person.
Mm. You still have those wow moments though, right? Where like you're scrolling through your feed and you're like, God damn.
Well, I mean, yeah, I can appreciate, the human form in various
Yeah.
shapes, right? Male and female. I
Mhm.
know how to appreciate.
Yeah.
And it does happen. But in terms of like relationship and romance, I think me who that's like their that's the thing that I need, right? That's the thing that I need for me, that like the number one thing. Because I've been
Mm.
with some people who, and I'll be honest, I was with, it happened twice. Two girls, different girls, that I was like, all right, well, let me try, right? Because to that was like in my mind, I was like, that's the guy thing to do. Like, oh, you have this girl who's interested, you go fuck her, right?
Mm.
I fucking couldn't do it, man.
Yeah.
I I was not attracted to them. Was not attracted to them, and in my mind, it's like I don't care about this person emotionally or
Mm.
anything.
You're not invested.
I'm not invested. I don't care how I'm gonna make them feel. Like
Mm.
that doesn't matter to me. So I cannot perform if I don't care about this person. Like if I don't care about the person who I'm with.
Yeah.
Like I don't fucking care. So a big component for me in romance is emotion, right? You need to be, I think, emotionally flexible, maybe.
Mm.
So if you're trying to, as a player, do like romance with the NPC, you as a player have to be comfortable
Mm-hmm.
with making yourself
Vulnerable.
vulnerable, even though it's not really vulnerable. It's make believe vulnerable, but you have to kind of get into that character.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Well, a lot of people use like D&D as real life. Well, right, and they're theoretical, right? But like a lot of them
yeah,
like to face their demons and fucking
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
the dragons.
And it could be that like maybe they just don't know how to talk to some people, and that maybe they're afraid like, oh, it's gonna come out that I don't know how to fucking talk to men or women
Mm-hmm.
if I do a relationship with this. I think it's exposing,
Yeah.
you know, because you do have to expose yourself a little bit. If you're actually trying to role play a
Mm-hmm.
character, you do have to expose
Yeah,
yourself a little bit.
you gotta invest a little bit of yourself in
Yeah,
in
and I
that
think
person.
the player character has to be willing to do that,
Mm-hmm.
and the DM also has to be willing to do that as well, but also to be careful not to like, because it could be that maybe they're trying to find, maybe it is a therapeutic thing. So you, I think as a DM, you don't want to maybe say anything that's gonna make them feel dumb,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, I think that's one thing. Also, like you don't want to make your players feel dumb
Yeah.
when they're trying to be sincere or genuine. So I think maybe as a player, let's say your character, they think that, oh, my character would do this because they would think it's romantic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But maybe it's that they think that it's romantic, right?
Yeah.
And then you as a DM, you as a DM playing the NPC makes a little joke, and then they're like, oh shit. Then they just retrieve,
Into their show.
yeah, go back into the shell a little bit more. So I think it involves the player character being vulnerable and willing, and I think the DM being okay with it.
Yeah. No, that those are situations, and then sometimes I don't even mind like what the fuck. I even put situations in there where like with my table, yeah, even with you, I remember I was like, you're at a tavern, right? There are lady of the nights. Some of them are interested, they want to get paid. It's more of a carnal thing, and it's carnal and money. It's a transaction, right? It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
business. But I remember your player was just like, yeah, the house is burning, isn't it?
It smelled like something was burning.
Um,
I think my player had
his
a
mind.
yeah. I think my player had a dead wife.
Yeah. Your player has a dead wife, and so he was like, no, no, thank you. Um, I'm in sad boy hours, so let's not get into that, right? I was
Yeah.
like, okay, that's fine. But I remember in my other game, I do the same thing, and yeah, the fucking goblin is like, yeah, I want some fucking ice blue tiefling pussy. So that's what he got, right? Yeah, it is what it is, right?
Some tussie.
Yeah, so just some pussy. Uh, God, like, you think about it and you're like, devil girl, that would be kind of hot in the real life. I don't care if you're gonna take my soul, just, fuck my shit up,
We're like
fam.
worthy.
Yeah, fuck my shit. Just fuck my shit up, fam.
Yeah.
Physically, but also, you can take it, whatever. Um, but yeah. I mean, I get what you mean. It's like with the whole romance thing, you know. Um, what do you think of
Iraq? I don't think we should have gone.
No, I don't. Yeah.
I
Hey, hey, man.
don't
It's not a. Let's not dwell on ceremony.
know.
No. So yeah, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've had a couple pain from work. I had a little tussle. No, I didn't have a tussle, but I just had a little problem with Strange, right? I was just doing some work. I I was on the computer, and then customers was like, "Hey, can you open this pallet? I want to check the boxes." I'm like, "Sure, man, got you." Let me ship, but it's palletized, so it's 3 pallets high. I'm like, "Come on, chief, like we can't get it from the pallet. I need someone to drop it." So I was calling. I called. I eventually had to spot, but I found someone to drop it. We dropped it. We opened up the pallet, and it's these large tiles, about 24 by 48. So yeah, 2 feet by 4 feet,
Yes,
big tiles. And there's two to a box. It's a team lift sort of thing. I mean, sure, you can do it by yourself, but only los maestros, los mamalones will do it by themselves, right?
so like me, I could do by myself.
Yeah, yeah, man. But so I was like, okay, I lift the first box, and then I help with the second box, and I'm like, ooh, oh boy, what was that? I felt like a little tinge there lifting that second box. I'm like, okay, that's not good. Whatever that was, I don't like it.
Right.
But I go. I keep it was 9 boxes. We're 2 down. Got to do it. Whatever. So I lift the other 7, but this time I use more of my leg because my back didn't want to participate.
So the first time you used your back.
Maybe we don't know. We don't know. I have to
We
check,
don't-
I have to check the cameras again.
You're gonna see you just
Straight
not even bending your knees, just
90-degree.
just waist going down and then just pulling up with your
Just a
back.
just a acute angle.
Just no bending in the knees.
Yeah,
just,
none.
you locked your knees.
Lock the knees. Full back mode.
Yeah.
Um, but so yeah, we stack up the cart, and I'm like, okay, I'll just stretch it out, it'll get nice, right? But then after work, I was like feeling it a little bit in my leg. So I'm like, well, not after work, after lunch, I was feeling it in my leg, and it was getting my mobility was like on the fritz. So I'm like, okay, maybe I should make that report, just because I don't want to, I don't want the situation to happen where like I wake up tomorrow the next day and like, oh fuck, this shit hurts. I can't even get out of bed.
Right.
And they're gonna be like, oh, what happened? Oh, I hurt my back at work yesterday. Like they're like, oh, why didn't you tell anyone? That kind of shit you can get in trouble for. So
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I told my store manager like, hey, I mean, it's not like nothing crazy, but like I feel like I pinched a nerve, like or something to that effect. Like I'm starting to feel some not numbness, but like feeling down my leg whenever I have some mobility. And they're like, okay, we'll have to make a report, and um, you know, who was there? Like, was there any witnesses? I'm like, yeah, the worker. I even told him, like, even after I loaded the boxes with him, I was like, man, I felt like I pinched something. I don't feel good. And I even went to lunch with him and everything, right? So we came back, so I filled out my report, and he filled out a witness report, stating the same thing. And so they were like, okay, well, just let us know how you feel. Like, do you want to go to the doctor? Or do you need an ambulance? Anything like that? I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna, like, I'm gonna wait, see how I feel. Maybe even put something, take some medicine, whatever, and I'll gauge it from there. They're like, okay, well, just let us know how you feel. Just keep us in the loop. So I have like a whole little incident report book now. Like anyone that gets injured, they create this folder for you, and now all your injuries and all your subsequent things go in there. But So that happened today. So I'm like, that's why I'm feeling like, ugh,
Yeah.
a little rough today. But other than that, I had a pretty decent day. So can't complain. Got some food. We ended up watching the next episode of The Last of Us. Not bad.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Enjoying it. I'm recommending it to anybody who hasn't seen it
Yeah.
or hasn't even heard about the game.
By the way, I'm getting my shit kicked in on my Thursday game.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. Yeah. And I feel like it's player error a lot of times. Which like you can't fault someone's play style. Like at the end of the day, you play with these guys and you have fun with them, right? But it's just sometimes you're just like, damn, we really finna go at this again because you did that.
Yeah.
There's a situation where like there's this room that he enters into and like we know there's enemies in there. You can see them, right? They're just not activated. So we're like, okay, cool. Is there anything else in that room? No? Okay. We don't have to go in that room. So we keep walking. We're looking at other things, right? And then the guy's like, I'm going to shadow box one of these things. We turn around at the sound of initiative. And we're like, okay. So, we're all dispersed. This is how it's going to go down, huh? Safe to say, I don't know if you've seen that fucking meme about the white girl with the black guys around her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was him. That was him in a nutshell. Was this fucking fairy dragon around 4 suits of armor?
He's about to get fucked.
Yeah, he got fucking railed on. He got grappled and restrained. Yeah. But so things like that. That was the first situation, and we're fighting for our fucking lives. Because 2 was hard enough. There's 4 in that room.
Right.
So shit. Okay, cool, whatever. Next situation arises. We're trying to get the fuck out this room. And we're like, there's runes on the wall. All over this wall. Some of them explode. This sucks. But the wizard had the idea of like, hey, are these walls made out of stone? The DM's like, nope. They're just dirt walls, like. He's like, okay, cool, mold earth. 5 feet. The DM's like, nice. And proceeds to fucking rail us with like a bunch of magical bombardments of lightning bolts and, magic missiles and all this. Because they activated runes. We're like, okay. 4 people are down. It's me and the Loxodon. I look at the Loxodon. And I enjoyed myself. I'm not gonna say I didn't enjoy myself because I enjoyed myself because I got to roleplay.
Yeah.
Like I got to roleplay. Like I feel like I was putting in like a lot of like vocalization roleplay. Hey man, if it has to come to it, we'll kill them. We'll just be you and me. We'll survive. Because I am playing a mage slayer that is currently at a wizarding academy.
Yeah. Is this the college?
The Strixhaven game.
The Strixhaven game? Mm-hmm. I thought you got out of that one.
No, I'm still in it. Well, we switched because he had to get ready for his next chapter. So we switched into my campaign, and now we jumped back to his.
Okay,
so we're in year 2 now, so we're sophomores in his game now.
Yeah. Okay, Harry Potter.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's Harry Potter in a sense.
It's fucking Harry Potter.
But so you have these wizards, right? And my character's supposed to have this brooding sort of like. Oh, his mother was killed by a wizard, so and his family, the family business is mage hunting. That's what we specialize in. So to get better at, you got to know your enemy. So that we're gonna send you to school to like, whatever incantation, whatever fucking sigil, you'll know it. You'll know how to defend against it, right? Best when to strike, right? Knowing my enemy. And
is he gonna change and be like, "Hey, mages aren't that bad, because I made friends"?
Well, the DM is trying to fucking pivot me into that because he's always asking, like, they're like, why are you asking for these? Like, the teacher's like, oh, you want to know where your friends are? I'm like, more like associates, but sure. Like, it's cool. It's fine. You look lonely. You need friends. I'm like,
It's okay to have friends.
exactly. Friendship.
Friendship.
Bullshit. Bullshit. So, so
That one motherfucking asleep.
yeah, exactly, right. So, it's funny because like we knew we were going into Strixhaven, so we're like, I'm not making a fucking mage. Two of us did not make like fucking. One of us is a barbarian. The only magic he has is wild magic.
Okay.
That is his.
It's like, oh, he's there to like learn to control it or whatever.
No, just
Like,
she's just there.
He's just a fucking joke.
Yeah, he is. He's in the weightlifting fucking
Program.
Yeah, he's in the like they have like little courses and he's in the weightlifting program. And my character is just like, well, I have blood magic, blood hunter, right?
Okay.
I have blood magic. I want to get better at it. So, but so whatever.
I have crit magic.
What?
Crit magic?
Crypt? Oh no. Oh, all right, little Tookie Williams, up to you. It's gonna get bloody up here, bro. No, but so the fucking rains hellfire on us.
Yeah.
And we have to rest.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's down. Spend the next 8 hours, right? Whatever. I ended up upgrading my. I ended up getting my upgrade for my my everlasting pipe. Now it is now it was upgraded to the ever dank pipe.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's crazy, right? He was like, yeah, that's what it is now. Like, because I think I looked at one of the characters and I gave him the side eye, like, let's go walk. And so, but it was just tobacco pipe. He's like, no, it's not tobacco pipe anymore. You had to upgrade it. It's the ever dank pipe. I'm like, sweet.
Do you know, speaking of drugs, you know that I think some football players take Viagra before a game?
Really?
Yeah.
What does it help with?
Blood circulation. Yeah. I was listening to the
Is
show.
it legal?
Is Viagra legal?
No, I mean, is
Oh,
it
is it legal
considered
in-
doping? Really?
No.
Wow.
Not considered doping, not that I know of.
Mm.
But this guy was talking about it. He was like, they're like, oh, and they don't get an erection because the part of the brain that activates for arousal
Mm-hmm.
needs to be activated for the erection to start.
Mm.
So if you're going into a game, you're not thinking about that, so you don't get an erection, but your blood flow increases. And supposedly, like small doses, I think, of Viagra or something, can help with your prostate health.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, what isn't the whole thing with like Viagra, isn't that like more like it helps with circulation, but isn't it like considered almost like a blood thinner in a sense?
It was like I think blood pressure.
Blood pressure, blood thinner.
It was something. It was something before it became fucking for
What?
getting a hard on.
Look,
but-
man, they gotta update that recipe, boy.
Yeah.
They gotta make it for the low.
But I thought about that because at that time they were also talking about
It doesn't beat the fucking gas station pill though.
the gas.
Yeah, the gas station pill.
Wait, have you had the gas station pill?
Only once.
Did it work?
It works fucking ridiculously.
The what?
Those gas station pills are dosed for fucking horses, my guy.
Don't they have a fucking horse in the front?
No,
of the
they're usually
bull?
like a fucking rhino. Fucking Magnum rhino. America pill. Something to the effect, right?
I'm just thinking.
But there a lot of places got sued. A lot of places the mental picture. I don't know. That's not. Stop giving the mental picture of fucking just me with a hard up. No,
No, what I'm thinking is like you went to the fucking
I'll take
fucking gas station with a Chevron. You're like,
it's not in chevrons. So you got to go to
you went to the bodega.
you got to go to the really bad gas stations, right? Like
You went to the
the
unmarked gas
fucking
station.
Shamrock.
The
Gas.
Chevron.
Yeah, exactly. You got to go to
You gotta
those.
fucking. You like give me the
Because
fucking.
I don't know if you noticed, but like a lot of those, like Chevron Shell, they don't have them because like back in maybe a year or two ago, like they were suing them, like they were suing like Viagra or like like big companies were like, you can't be selling this. It has every active ingredient
That
of
we
this,
use.
so we're gonna sue you if you're carrying it. We're gonna sue your station, your gas station. That's why you can't find it. It's hot commodity. But they
Remember
have them. They have them in Adam and Eve too, like
Yeah.
sex shops. And they.
I remember when I was a cashier at a grocery store back in high school, working late one night, and this lady came up to the counter, and she was.
You were in high school?
Yeah. I actually think we were in high school together for a few years.
Wait a minute. No.
Yeah, I think that's where we met.
No, you're telling me a shrimp fried this first?
Wait,
What?
you're saying that a shrimp took his little hands and fried
Claws?
little
No.
claws
Yeah.
and fried this rice that's right in front of me.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Okay.
I'll
show you pictures later.
No, I don't want to believe it.
It's photocopied.
I believe it's Photoshop. So I think I was working as a cashier late at night, and this lady comes up.
A piece of me died when the 24-hour Walmarts stopped being 24 hours. It's just because you were talking about late night shop.
Oh
But
yeah,
okay,
when you go late night to a Walmart, yeah, that's a different experience.
It was so fucking. I can only feel that now when I go to Walgreens at like 3, 4 in the morning.
Yeah,
Only some of them, but
yeah, it's so relieving.
I think you remember. I remember where you worked. Yeah. But I don't remember.
Hey, right
They
across from my
closed
high
like
school.
9 or 10, right? They would close at 9 or 10.
No, they would close like at
8.
11.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and then I would stay later to close, and it was on the weekend too.
Okay.
So I was closing late, and this lady comes up, and she had just straight up fake tits. Like they're fake. Like when you see tits and like those are real,
Mm-hmm.
those are fake. Those are fake. But she was wearing a white see-through shirt, and there was this old Mexican guy behind her in line,
Mm-hmm.
and she came up, dropped 2 boxes of Magnum condoms
Mm-hmm.
and those fucking horse pills,
Yeah.
fucking horse Viagra. And I was like, damn, she's about to get fucking railed tonight. Like it's about to go down.
Yep.
So I charge her stuff. She grabs it and everything. Take a picture for later. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And then the old Mexican guy, he like comes up to Richard and he's like, "Did you see that?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "God, I can't believe it."
Get bárbaro.
It's like America.
Yeah.
And but that's like an interaction that always kind of like stayed with me.
Stayed.
Just that like, just late. Here's some Magnum condoms. I'm 100% about to go get railed. Mexican guy comes afterwards and he's just speechless.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, bro, fucking, that's awesome." He's like, "Ooh."
I
He's
don't,
like,
I don't know. But you brought up fake tits.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know. God, I think it's a Canadian teacher. I think it's Canadian. I think it's a Canadian school teacher. That is, it's a trans man, I think, or a trans woman. Trans woman. Whenever they
Man
switch
to
from
woman?
yeah, trans
I
woman.
think trans woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a trans woman is a teacher, and she has these obscene breasts.
Are we talking about cartoonishly big?
Yes.
Okay.
To the point where they're not real breasts. They're just a sort of like something that he wears, almost like a bra.
Oh,
Like
so
that
they're
he
not
puts-
like they're not real.
Yeah, they're not
implants.
real.
Oh.
So he puts this thing on around his neck, and and they're like
Yeah.
huge, like fucking. They're like,
Badonk-a-donks.
yeah, they're like unseemly, right? But he would
Huge
wear
numbers, fucking
wear
saddlebags.
like a white shirt with like almost see half the fucking fake boob, and it got to the point where like students were like, some of the students were just like, I don't feel comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Or like even some of the teachers, so they had to like put in a dress policy. they had to like enforce
I
it as
mean,
policy.
you're a fucking teacher.
Yeah,
First
exactly.
and foremost, you are a teacher at a school with children.
Exactly. But like, the whole thing is like, oh, I'm a trans woman. That is right.
That had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Imagine if it's a non-trans woman, cisgendered woman, titties out.
yeah.
I'm like, yo, like,
Oh, you're like, oh, you're censoring me or whatever. You're
right,
bringing
you,
me down.
using the
You're
I'm
saying
trans
I'm not.
card.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
you're saying I'm not feminine. I can't have my tits out like this.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I was like, holy shit, man, they're not even real. You're just a man with this rig on.
Yeah.
You're just a man with a rig on.
Yeah.
It's the same like as just having a wig.
Yeah.
Like, chill out.
Yeah.
Make the change.
There's
I think the whole thing is because he doesn't have enough money to make the change, right? He doesn't have enough money to, put on the
I
plans
mean,
and all
I
that
think
shit.
there's like estrogen therapy or something like that. Or with time you can develop your own breasts.
Oh yeah, this man can. He's a hefty boy.
He's a hefty
I'm
boy,
sure
so
he
he's
can.
got something already.
Yeah.
So it's about dress code. About
Yeah.
about professionalism.
Yeah.
Because if you're just wearing, first of all, she was allowed to work at the school,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So already they have no problem with them being a trans woman. No problem. The problem came from this.
Yeah.
The exposed fake tits.
Yeah.
Right? If you're gonna try to work in a professional setting, especially a school, fake tits or not, you need to have a proper dress code.
I'll give you the other example to that. The other coin flip to that was I've seen like one to three articles about women dressing professionally. They show you their outfit, but it's just like they have curves, right? These women have feminine bodies, so they're dressed how they should be, but they look good doing it. You know what I mean? Like, so like there's waiters, or they're or sometimes they're nurses, or and guys come like they get complaints like, oh, this person's too, it's obscene, like they shouldn't be like in that attire, and like, well, it's just a fucking regular dress. It's dress code. It's just how can they apologize for being
in the approved dress code? Yeah. No, yeah, I think a lot of it is like, I feel a lot of it is people who they themselves feel guilty.
Haters, man.
Haters or people who feel guilty. I was like,
oh yeah, like a lot of people like the whole situation with like teenage girls, and like there's these guys are like, oh, cover up. Teachers saying, oh, cover up. I'm like,
bro, you're a grown man.
Yeah, why are you staring? Like,
yeah, fucking pedophile. I'm gonna write this shit down. You fucking pedo.
Let them be.
Yeah, I think there's this one female, the one who I was speaking to, the one who was basically using me to give her attention. She had very big knockers.
A big heart. Yeah.
No, boobies.
Boobies.
Very big, very big.
Okay.
And she wore like spaghetti strap kind of stuff. And I will be honest with you, not at all what was on my mind when I talked to her. When I was talking to her, right? Like, they were there, but it's like it didn't register in my mind, right? I was like, is she doing her job? Yes. Okay. But other people would be like, oh my God, can you believe what she's wearing? I was like, I have no idea what she's wearing today. They're like, oh, she's wearing the thing. Oh, okay, yeah, I saw. They're like, yeah, well, she's wearing that. And I was like, I mean, she's doing her job.
Yeah.
At the place I worked at didn't have a set dress code, right? Nothing was put in place.
Yeah.
So there was no issue with it, right? But it was other women being like, oh my God, like, look at her, like, look at this whore.
Becky. Yeah.
They didn't say whore, but they're like, look at her, and there was no complaint for me. There was no complaint for me, not because I liked the view. but it was more. I was not my concern, honestly,
Mm.
and not the first time I've seen people dress like at a restaurant or at another job. Not the first time I've seen people dressed who have a body, right? Who have like curves and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they wear the uniform that they've been told to wear, and they look great in it. And it's like, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a massive dick and your uniform just outlines that natural 9-inch soft bulge, then
Can't do anything about
you
it.
can't do nothing about it. There's nothing you can do about it. People who complain, I think, are the people who are insecure, who feel bad about it.
Mm.
Who are like, you know what? You're making me uncomfortable, but I'm gonna say that you're doing things wrong. Because then they have to admit that they were like, oh my god, my wife is gonna find out that I was looking at this lady.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of it is people being shitty.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I think overall people should just, if you got the dress code and you're following it, go for it. You know? Love yourself.
Yeah.
Seek out therapy if you want to seek out therapy. And I found out supposedly that like if you stare, not if you, in the mornings,
Mm-hmm.
if you look at the sun for 5 to 10 minutes, if you have sun, if there's overcast, 10 to 20 minutes,
Yeah.
sort of in the direction of the sunrise,
Okay.
not directly at the sun,
Oh, damn.
but like in the direction of the sun,
Okay.
then, and you have to look at what, it has to be your eyes, it can't just be your skin. Like you
Yeah.
have to look at like the light
Mm-hmm.
that it like tells the cells in your body,
Wake up, bitch.
wake up. And the lines, because they're like, oh, that every cell in your body sleeps.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have a sleep cycle, right?
Yeah.
And when you look at the sun, it's sending signals to wake up, and it sets you on a cycle where like you'll have more energy, you'll be less depressed, maybe less anxiety.
You gonna try it?
Hell yeah, I'm gonna try it. I'll try. I'm on this self-help journey that I'm taking. I'll try whatever I can.
Try it.
If I could,
Let me know how it
if I could
works.
take psychedelics, I would.
Hey, crystals? Fuck it. Right.
Crystals. Okay. Let's
I'm talking about crystals like
crystal meth.
no,
Like crystals, like energy
fuck,
crystals.
Yeah, energy.
Yeah, no, fuck that shit. I'm not saying no fucking.
Realign your chakra, my guy.
No, fuck. All right, go look at the sun in the morning.
Tell me how you feel.
I'll tell you how I feel. I'll do it for like about a week. And then I'll see how I feel.
You should vlog it.
And then at night, between 10 and 4
Mhm.
a.m., avoid bright lights. Dim lights are suggested, like red light bulbs,
Yeah,
like red party lights.
I
like
do.
light
I
bulbs.
do enjoy dim lights.
I would say get some red lights, put some red lights in your room,
Mm-hmm.
and then try it out like around 10.
Yep.
And then see how that goes. I'm gonna try some of that too.
Taper it off.
Taper it off, yeah. Try it out. It's supposed to just help your body, stabilize. So I'll see how it goes. In the meantime, this Popeyes is calling.
Yeah, same.
Popeyes is calling. Is knocking at the back door, saying, "Let me out, let me out."
It's giving me my stomach has been rampant, as in it's just like
You ever seen a pot of cheese boil?
it's
That's what my
uncontrollable.
stomach feels like.
It's uncontrollable. Oh, by the way, try that milk.
Oh yeah,
Now that you're bringing up cheese and your problem with it,
yeah.
try the milk.
I didn't find the milk. I thought I bought chocolate milk this last weekend. I ended up buying fucking coffee.
You poor bastard.
It
Cold
didn't
brew.
say it.
It's
It
cold
didn't
brew,
say it.
isn't
It's
it?
cold brew,
But-
but so fucking good.
Yeah.
It fucked me up
No.
so bad because it had dairy.
No, I know. Cold brew is it's underrated.
All right then, folks. Thanks. We're gonna end it here.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to this episode. You can find us on Spotify under You, Me, and Dice with Tommy and Eddie. You can find us on YouTube.
Don't forget about your brother.
I'll do that. I'll put that ad after this.
You
Or in the
ads
beginning.
like that?
Yeah, with the power of editing.
Editing. I've never heard of that. I live my life quarter mile at a time, but
All right, motherfucker.
there's no editing. There's no editing in real life. You just follow. It's consequences.
It's because follow us on YouTube, like and subscribe, hit that bell icon if you want to get some notifications, and check us out on Patreon if you feel like sending us some cheddar cheese.
Yep.
Um,
What's the word of the day? Self-love,
the word of the day is love,
friendship.
friendship.